He stood on the edge of a rooftop, high above the glittering skyline. A man everyone envied, yet no one truly knew. Billionaire. Visionary. But at that moment, none of it mattered. The world below looked peaceful, almost inviting. He took a deep breath, whispering to the wind, "Maybe they'll finally stop pretending to care." Then came a small voice, fragile, uncertain, from behind him. "Mister, why are you crying if you already have everything?" He froze. A little black girl, no older than 8, stood there clutching a ragged teddy bear. She wasn't afraid. She just looked curious. Her question sliced through the silence, sharper than any scream could. That one sentence would unravel a lifetime of pain, pride, and loneliness. Because in that moment, the richest man in the world realized someone finally saw him. He stands on the edge of the rooftop, shoes kissing the thin lip of steel as if it were a dare. Below, the city hums, sirens braided with laughter, a million windows pretending to be stars. The wind pulls at his coat, nosing for a way inside his ribs. This is where endings go to look like choices. He tells himself there is nothing dramatic about it. Billionaires don't cry, they restructure. They don't break, they rebrand. He spent a lifetime turning pain into press releases, grief into growth charts. But tonight, the words are empty shells rolling on a black tide. The glass behind him still glows with a boardroom's aftertaste, signatures, a merger, a congratulations nobody meant. He had smiled politely and imagined dissolving. "Mister?" The voice is small, startled by its own courage. He doesn't turn. The wind does, though. It angles differently, as if to make room for the question. "Why are you crying if you already have everything?" The city shrinks. The world becomes one voice, and the click of a teddy bear's plastic eye. He turns. She stands barefoot on the gravel strip, socks dirty, a pink jacket zipped to the throat, a brown teddy tucked against her chest. 8, maybe 9. A scuffed backpack hangs off one shoulder like a wing that gave up. She doesn't look scared. She looks curious, the sane way children look at sunsets and broken statues. "Aye," he says and stops. He has trained his mouth to carry mountains uphill. Now it can't lift a single word. She shifts her weight. "I came up 'cause the building is warm," she says, quick, apologizing with her eyes. "Doorman thinks I live here when I wave like I do. I don't touch nothing. I just sit on the stairs sometimes. It's quieter." "Quieter," he repeats, as if the syllables are a language he used to know. "My brother can't sleep when the street is loud." She points the bear at the skyline. He thinks the sirens are dragons. I tell him they're music with lights. He tries to swallow and finds the throat unwilling. "What's your name?" "Arya." "Of course it is," he thinks. A song at the edge of a roof. "And you?" she asks. It is almost funny. In this city, he is a headline with a face. But her eyes don't carry that heavy recognition, they carry only him. "I'm Nathan." The name lands like a confession. Arya nods solemnly. "You look like you needed a person to say it to." The wind quiets. He hears the machine heart of the building, vents, fans, the sigh of automatic doors several floors below. Somewhere a helicopter hawks its own urgency. He looks back at the drop and finds it shallower somehow, as if the building tilted when she spoke. "What you said about everything." His voice surprises him by being gentle. "Sometimes everything is a room with no doors." She frowns as if solving a math riddle. "Did you try opening a window instead?" The laugh punches out of him before he can block it. He hasn't laughed without an invoice attached in months. It ricochets off the HVAC husk like a glass marble. "It's not that simple, Arya." "Is it money?" she asks, practical. "We don't have that. But we have a rule. When there's no money, we trade time. My mom trades her time at the diner. I trade my time with my brother. He gets sick sometimes. I read to him, and he says the words with me. That's better than money sometimes." "Sometimes," he echoes. The ache in his chest rearranges. "Your mom, is she here?" "Working the night shift." Arya looks at the bear's ear, worrying a loose thread with her thumb. "I'm supposed to walk her home when she's done. She says the city eats little girls who walk alone." "I don't think it eats. I think it swallows and forgets. So I wait where it forgets to look." He wants to ask why here, why this building, why tonight, but the truth is he knows. He chose this roof for the same reason. The city forgets to look up. "When I was little," he says, surprising them both, "I used to count the airplanes from my window. I'd make up the lives inside. I thought having a lot would make me feel safe. Like building a fortress no one could knock down." "Did it?" He looks at the drop again, then at her, at the steady, human insistence of her gaze. "It made the walls very tall." Tall walls are good for bouncing balls, she says, as if offering a coupon to grief. And for making echoes. But sometimes they hide the people who would help you carry stuff. He closes his eyes, and the memory arrives uninvited. A different rooftop, a different edge. A laugh like a bell. Hair caught in the wind. Come on, Nate. Let it scare you a little. Then we can say we were brave. He tastes the shadow he's been outrunning. The one shaped like a woman he loved, a life that ended too early, a funeral he turned into a project because projects were easier than crying in front of shareholders. He had built towers to outrun the ground where he buried her. Arya's voice threads through the memory. Are you going to step back now? The question lands without drama, like a hand finding his sleeve. He realizes how close he has drifted again, 2 thoughtless inches that mean too much. He looks down at his polished shoes, at the line that pretends to be a boundary, and steps away from it. The gravel crunches, an ordinary, holy sound. Arya exhales, long and serious. Thank you. For what? For not making me run. He almost asks whether she would have tried to stop him, and then understands she already did. How did you get up here? He asks. Emergency stairs. The door sometimes sticks, but I know the trick. She demonstrates, twisting her wrist like a magician. Don't worry, I don't teach no one. It's our secret. She taps the bear's nose. Mine and Popsicle. Popsicle? He was a popsicle once, she says with the gravity of a scientist. Then he melted into a bear. Of course. He kneels without deciding to, so their eyes can meet at the same horizon. Up close, she's all details, a flake of glitter glued to her eyelash, a scratch on the jacket zipper, the spelling list peeking from the backpack pocket. She has the kind of composure that grows in the cracks. Arya, he says, would you like some hot chocolate? Her face blooms, then recovers, suspicious of miracles. The real kind? Not the pretend kind from the machine. The real kind, he promises, feeling the absurd privilege of being able to conjure it at midnight. She considers. With marshmallows? As many as the cup can forgive. Okay. She glances at the edge, then at him. But you have to walk away from the line first. And not look back until we're inside. It makes the floor feel safer if you do that. He stands. They walk together, her small hand near his coat, not holding, not needing to, just there, a lighthouse traveling on legs. The door groans. Warm air greets them like relief. In the elevator lobby, under the soft fluorescence that makes everyone look a little more honest, Arya finally asks the question she had been saving. What did you lose? He chooses the truth. It is rusty but intact. My wife. Years ago. He swallows. And somewhere along the way, I misplaced myself trying not to miss her. Arya nods, and something about the way she doesn't flinch makes the admission bearable. We lost our apartment, she says. It's not the same. But when we left, Mom said our home would follow us if we kept being kind to people. So we say goodnight to the sky even if there aren't walls. It makes the air feel like a ceiling. The elevator arrives with a bell that sounds, to his surprise, like a beginning. On the private floor, the kitchen is too clean and the view is obscene. He asks the night chef for cocoa, and when 2 cups arrive like small blessings, Arya holds hers with ceremony. Steam paints her face luminous. Is this your house? She asks. It's a place I keep furniture, he says, and she grins around the rim. They sit at the counter. The city grazes the glass like a curious animal. Arya, he says, where do you and your mom stay? Sometimes with Annie Jo. Sometimes not. The answer wobbles but doesn't fall. But it's okay. We are practicing being brave until the good thing happens. He looks at her, this child who smuggled sunrise into his night, and realizes the good thing has already begun. He pulls his phone, opens an app he built to track properties and profits, hesitates, then closes it. Not that way. He doesn't want to solve a human story with an automated lever. He wants to be a person in it. What if the good thing started with breakfast tomorrow, he asks. And a ride to your mom so you can walk her home. And then, maybe you and your brother come back here and help me pick where to put a library. I realize I don't have one. I only have rooms full of books I haven't let anyone touch. Her eyes widen. You can make a library in your house. You can make a library anywhere, he says, surprised to hear himself mean it. And anywhere can be a house if you let people in. She studies him, weighing hope like a coin. You're different than you looked on the roof. So are you. He points to the bear. And Popsicle looks braver. Popsicle is very proud, she translates. He says you step back. They sit in a peace that feels earned. When the cocoa is gone and the city begins to yawn, he rides the elevator down with her, past the floors full of sleep. The doorman blinks at them, caught between rules and the evidence of kindness. Nathan gives his name and the name of a car company and the address of a diner. He doesn't add a tip, he adds his presence, waiting in the lobby until Aria's mother, eyes ringed with shift work, arrives at the curb. There are explanations, quick and careful, and a moment when suspicion meets gratitude at a four-way stop and both wave the other through. Later, when the sun begins the slow work of laundering the sky, Nathan returns to the roof. He walks to the line and stops 10 feet shy of it, the way Aria taught him. He says his wife's name into the new morning, and it doesn't break him, it steadies him. Then he calls his office. "We're canceling the press conference," he says. "We're starting something quieter. I need space on the ground floor. I want a door that never sticks. I want a library open late, and hot chocolate that tastes like the real kind, and a room for families who need a ceiling made of air while they wait for walls. And," he pauses, feeling the city lean in, "I need people who know how to build homes you can carry." When he hangs up, the wind moves around him differently, no longer trying to take him apart. Across the street, a small figure in a pink jacket points up, waving like she's teaching the sky to notice the rooftop at last. He waves back, then steps away, not from the edge, but toward the life beyond it.